Back to the class. Glad you guys are back. It's been a week and just excited to get back into it. So let's get started. We'll just do a quick review of week one, and then we'll get into week two, the second part of this three-part series of just really exploring again just the foundation of what we're going to be working over the course of this 8 weeks of getting into what a nurturing father is, looking at our fathering history, and then building upon that history, our presence, making a father vision statement about the father that we want to be, about the father that we want to be moving forward for our children, those that we care for in our lives today. So again, welcome. Let's get at it. So let's go. So just going to start out again just with the definition. Okay, a nurturing father. A nurturing father is a man who actively provides guidance, love, and support to enhance the development and growth of children for whom he cares. Again, that's the foundation of what we're working with today and moving forward as the weeks progress. Fathering history, just a quick recap of that. We gave the names and ages of our children. We talked about the immediate people in our families. We also talked about becoming a father, what that circumstance looked like. What were the events that led us to the place of becoming fathers for the first, and for some of us, the second and third time. So we got into a little bit of detail about that. We also talked about the birth, those special days that we were able to witness our children coming into this world, the anxiety that we may have felt, the excitement, the pressure, just all the different feelings that go into the arrival of our children, all the good and just all of that stuff. So we went over that, and some great stories were shared. So thanks for that. And then we talked a little bit about transitions, whether there have been some divorces that we've experienced, whether there was some deaths, remarriages, things like that. Anything that would result from these changes we talked about, and how that could potentially affect us, but also affect our relationship, our children moving forward. It's really important to be aware of those things, so we can make the proper adjustments and do that accordingly. So we got into that, and that was just a recap of the first session that we had. And we always like to take the first 10 minutes of the group just to recap that and talk about that, see if there was anything that came to mind once we left class, and I'll let you guys jump in and share. So thanks for that. And we'll transition now, and I appreciate just the thought, the energy and the effort that you guys put into that exercise. That's the first one that we do, and we definitely want to give it justice. It's deep. It talks about our history. It talks about where we are as fathers today, and again, it's going to help us with that final piece of paper, which it's not going to be an end all. It's going to be something that we could go back to, we can tweak when we need to. And I'm talking about our fatherhood vision statement as different things happen. Because the way we father, like I said, the way we father, but our kids are a certain age now. We will definitely have to adjust as age appropriateness is called for, right? The way I'm fathering a 5-year-old is not going to be the same way I father a 10-year-old. Principles will be the same: honesty, integrity. I'm going to be there for you, but how we deliver some of these things will look a little differently. The way we verbalize these things are going to look a little bit differently, sound a little bit differently, just because the age is different. So these are going to be living documents, and basically what that means is we're going to adjust those things as we move along. But again, the principles will stay the same. We want to do everything from a loving heart, a caring heart, and from a place where our kids are going to grow, flourish, develop, and we won't hinder that growth. Okay? So let me get this real quick. This video, that's just the audio part. And I'm going to share my screen. And like I said, it's going to take about 5 minutes, so bear with me. Thumbs up if you hear it. If not, thumbs down. And then I'll just take a check at my my stuff. So here we go. If you can hear it, thumbs up. Cool. There we have it. So just take your time and come back to the group and just feel your way back in. Take your time. I like doing the visualizations, but one of the things I find is, coming back, just take my time, roll my shoulders a little bit, feet on the ground, just take your time. So that was visualization 1, my father and me. And how'd you feel as you was listening to the guided semi-conversation of the narrator, as they were asking you pointed questions of about your relationship with your dad when you were a little boy, playing at the park, the ways that you were disciplined, how your father showed love to you, to your mother, to your siblings. There are a lot of questions that were asked during that visualization that wanted us to bring back those memories and those feelings. And just take another minute or two, and then we'll talk about some of the words that come to mind, some of the qualities, some of the phrases, some of the things of that nature that come to us as a result of that guided visualization. And whoever wants to share first, feel free to just jump in. The questions are listed. List all the qualities, descriptive words, phrases that describe your father, your father's or primary father figures, fathering style, and relationship to you. So that's on the screen, and feel free. Yeah, go ahead. So I like to share. You know me, I always like to share as well. I tell you guys, I'm participating as well. Some of the qualities that came to my mind as I was listening and just getting settled into the visualization was just my father was a kind man, gentle. I think I may have heard my dad raise his voice once. And it was to me in a protective way. It wasn't to harm me in any way. It got my attention. But that was the only time I ever heard my dad raise his voice. So to me, he always had qualities of calmness, kindness, and that's what I remember. And that's what came to my mind. Phrases that describe my father's style. It was somewhat distant, okay? It wasn't up close and personal. My father had a style of allowing for the development and not having too much of the hands-on. And I think that just has a lot to do with some of the things that my father missed by losing his dad at I said an early age. He was in his mid-20s when he lost his father. And even then, we still learn a lot from our dads in our 20s, mid 20s, and to the day they're no longer here, to the day we're no longer here. We're constantly learning. So I think there was a lot of lack, a lot of not knowing how to do things. So kind of watching from a distance. There were mentors in my life that helped guide in certain areas, athletics, academics, and things of that nature. And my father allowed that to take place. There was not like this fight or any type of jealousy there. And as I've grown older, I can appreciate that. There was something that he recognized that I, as his son, could receive from someone that would be beneficial to me, even if he wasn't able to give it. But in turn, I look at how that all comes back to him. I've seen situations where, as a dad, very possessive and not wanting another man to be that person for their child, to show them up in this sense. So I have a great appreciation and a love for my father for allowing mentors, coaches, teachers, people to have influence on my life, and allow that in a positive. Father was absent. What did that leave you with? Longing, hurt, determination to be different. What do you know about him from others? Well, what do I mean? Okay, well, for example, what do you know about him from others? I can take that question. I was fortunate enough to have an older brother, 4 years older than me. So he had the opportunity to do different things with my dad. Park and just all sorts of stuff. And it was from my older brother I learned a lot, about my dad. His love for photography. There was all of these pictures around, and I would see these things, but I didn't know, where they came from or anything. I just knew there were pictures. And my brother would tell me, yeah, Dad would take these pictures. So that's something I learned about my dad from my brother. So that's it, guys. That guided visualization, the whole purpose of that was just to go back a little bit more, okay? There's just something really valuable about going to the beginning and starting from that place. So then we can push forward and talk about the great things that we had. If there were some things that were missing or absent, list those qualities, the good, the bad. Write those things down that we longed for, that we would have hoped that our Father could have given us at a younger age. And that's important stuff because, as we move until next week, and we'll be getting into the meat of writing down our vision statement, the father I choose to be, and I'm just giving a little bit of a segue until next week. We'll see how, and you probably can see it now, how those things on the list line up with how you are as a father today. That could be a good thing, that could be a not so good thing, but it is something that we can change, something that we can be aware of right now and do something differently, and or continuing to do those great things. I don't want to leave that out. Okay, great things that we're doing now, we want to continue to do. Some things that we might not be as strong as, we want to make sure that we have that on a list and we make a conscious effort to do those things moving forward. Okay, so again, guys, this was a great session. I loved hearing the things that I heard, and just I'm really excited about next week of being able to pinpoint specifics, the things I choose to do, the things I choose not to do. In addition, I choose to do X, Y, and Z, and that's going to be a fun part. All right, so I'd encourage you to go home, look over this list. If you have to, take some more time to visualize some of the things in the past. If something comes up, jot it down. That'll be a great thing for you to do over the next 7 days. And then when we come back next week, let's get ready, to write that vision statement. Again, this is the foundation of the dad we choose to be. And it's going to be awesome to see that put to paper, and then us continuing to walk those things out, getting better and better every day.